Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I have another fun fall card to share with you today. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's Candy Charms and Banner dies, their Gnome Friends Chipmunk die, their Card Mat dies, their Haunted Highway stamp set. There we go. Their Street Lamp dies, Valentine add-ons, the Street Lamp dies, and the Street Lamp dies fall add-ons, and the Fall Candy Grid style stamp set, and the Candy Grid die. And I'm using the Flea Market 6-inch pad from Doodlebugs and the Pumpkin Spice odds and ends. And I'm also using, you saw that border dies too. So first I have a piece of paper tray cardstock cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25 inches. So I'm going to do a horizontal A2. Then this is a piece of Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock cut at 4 by 5.25 inches. I'm going to add that to the inside with some ATG tape. And then this is a 1-inch strip of paper from Doodlebugs Flea Market 6-inch pad. That's like maybe 4 inches by 1 inch, something like that, or maybe 3 3/4 inches, whatever. Then these little guys are all from the Pumpkin Spice odds and ends from Doodlebug. Just going to add this little chipmunk and then a little pile of acorns down with some Barely Art glue. And I have a couple of leaves too from that same odds and ends from Doodlebug. You know, just for fun, like I always say. I like to have the inside of my cards to kind of be fun. So I stamped the Happy Fall sentiment from the Fall Candies grid style stamp set. Next, I'm adding some black glaze pen to the eyes and nose. This is Secure Black Glaze. Remember, it takes a while to dry. And some freckles and highlights with my Secure White Jelly Roll pen in a number 10. And I'm just adding on these little fun highlights. I find it adds a little something to these odds and ends, you know. There we go. Just remember it takes a bit to dry. Okay, so next I have a piece of, these papers are both from the 12-inch Doodlebug Flea Market paper line. And I cut out the card mat die for the first one, and then I cut this other strip out with Jaded Blossom's border dies too, and I have it just fitting inside where the stitching is. I'm just going to weight that down. I use some Barely Art glue. I'm going to stick this whole piece down with some ATG tape. And there we go. And I'm just going to use a little bit of Barely Art glue around the edge. Now for my chipmunk die, I have that pre-assembled, the Gnome Friends chipmunk die. There is an assembly video for that, so check that out if you get stuck, right? So I'm going to add that on. This is my background. I'm going to add that on my card base. Just trying to make sure it's as straight as I can get it. There we go. Using my adhesive eraser just to get any of that ATG that went off the edge. Now I'm going to add in my little fun street lamp. Remember, there's an assembly video for this guy too, so check that out. And I'm going to stick that down on the right-hand side. I did use Doodlebug's gingham linen for that as well. You can see the check. And everything that I used on the whole card will be listed in my blog post, which is linked below this video. So this is my little chipmunk die. Like I said, there is an assembly video for these guys. Check it out. And I'm going to stick that down to my card front. Isn't he cute? Oh, these are so cute. I love them. So I'm just going to stick him down in place. I'm going to add on, this is another one just from that same old street lamp die fall add-ons. Just going to glue that one down. Then I have a little sentiment from the Fall Candies grid style stamp set, and I use the Candy Grid die to cut that out. And I'm also using the, Candy Charms and Banners for the edge. And you'll notice that I'm sort of cutting off one side, and I'm going to have it stuck down to the edge of that paper. There we go. So it says Nutty for you. Now I'm pulling out, these are puffy icon stickers. They're Farmhouse. And I'm going to use one of these little acorns, and my little chipmunk is going to be holding this one. Isn't that fun? I'm just going to add a little bit of glue just to make sure. They're sticky, but you know, you never know. Add a little bit of glue, and isn't that cute? It's got a shiny little acorn now. And I'm taking out my Secure White Jelly Roll pen in a number 10, and I'm going to add, you know, a couple more highlights. And add a highlight on this acorn to match the other one. And there it is, just a super fun card, right? So I'm pulling out some shape sprinkles. These are called Falling For You. They're just little hearts. I'm going to add a few of these little orange ones to my card background, just for fun. It kind of matches the leaves and that patterned paper that the chipmunk is standing on. There we go. And like I said, I always try to do visual triangles and stuff. You know, we do our best, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. I try. So I'm going to add a few more of these little orange shape sprinkles, and there we have it. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, the Jaded Blossom store, to get your hands on these amazing products. And thanks as always for watching my videos. Be sure to come back and watch another one soon. Bye, everybody.